to a Delco Nerd Network podcast. I am your host, Anthony Ragucci, and this is Replay, Relive, and Re-Experience, as we like to call it. Re3 is where you guessed it, we do all three of those things to our favorite video game series. This edition of Re3 will be replaying, reliving, and re-experiencing the Halo franchise, starting with Combat Evolved and ending with Halo 5 Guardians in anticipation for Halo Infinite this December 8th. And here to go on Master Chief Saga with me, as always, the triple threat, Chris Trio.
Ayo.
And Delaware County's own, Christopher Geddes.
Ayo.
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 We're back.
That's now I have to say that every time you introduce me.
We're here.
This is rough. I just did that to myself.
What?
I'm gonna have to say ayo every time you introduce me now.
I mean, we got one more.
No, don't
episode
try and
of
stop me.
We
I
got
have to
one
do
more-
it now.
Well, we got 3 more episodes.
Yeah, you're right. You're
Wait,
right.
4? 3? 3. Yeah, 3.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah, 3.
3 including the one that we're on, right?
Right. Our second to last recording session.
It's crazy. It's how far we've
It's
come.
almost been a year.
I know.
We've
That is insane.
This has been such an undertaking.
It really
That's
has.
what me and Tria. One thing me and Tria were talking about. I was like, I don't think I realized like how much work this is gonna be.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
and it's funny because you do bring it up. I'm like, if you think this is the one we can do, let's do it. Like, I didn't really been Gooch when he likes to do something, he likes to do it right. So we've been thorough, and we're gonna continue being thorough with a bit of the ending of Halo 4. I don't know where the sentence is going. Can someone cut me off? For God's sakes, you guys are just sitting there.
Chris, you were not with us with our last recording due to some
Illness.
whooping cough.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
just
something like
coughing.
that.
Yeah. So, want to catch us up? How are you thinking on the first half of Halo 4?
So, I actually really like the campaign of Halo 4. I like the scenery. It's definitely a nice change of pace. Just Requiem itself is awesome. It's an awesome place. And what's the
Love it.
love it?
Would visit again. Yeah. What was what?
Like that grassy greeny planet in the beginning. With that, what was
Grassy
that?
greeny planet.
Like when he teleports out of Requiem and he lands where he finds Infinity. Where is Infinity?
Aren't they in?
Is
Requiem?
that
Didn't
like
they
still
follow-
part of
I thought
Requiem?
they was.
I assume
think,
that's still part of Requiem.
because they went in. I thought they were on Requiem for the entire like
I'm
beginning.
still missing the greeny.
like the
I think just the
first-
like
that
planetary
level,
area.
the
Yeah,
planet- the
that's. I think
planet
you're.
area,
That's on Requiem.
like
That's
that
like,
jungle.
Oh yeah, it's
sorry.
Requiem.
Okay,
yeah,
that's still Requiem.
Yeah,
that was cool. Going
The
through
whole
like
game pretty much take place on Requiem, besides
Except for the last like
the
mission.
Composer and Midnight, which
Yeah.
is on the Didax ship.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I really like the Promethean weapons. I don't know how you guys feel about them.
Love
Yeah.
'em.
Yeah,
I think-
Promethean- like the suppressor. I love the suppressor.
I think one thing 343 did really well is implementing a new faction to fight and a new set of weapons that really just feel like
Completely different.
complementary to the rest of the arsenal. Like you don't really like I don't miss the Flood.
Yeah,
You know, it's never one
Never came
thing
across
in
my
the
head,
Halo
on
series
my
where
mind.
you know what I miss? The Flood, because the Prometheans and even in Guardians, I feel like the Covenant take the secondary role and the Prometheans take the
primary.
primary role as the factions you fight. But yeah, I would definitely agree with you there. I think one of the 3 things 343 has done really well is the Prometheans with everything,
like their
weapons
design. Oh yeah, their design is awesome.
No, it really is cool, and even like the way that each weapon spins up, and like you get that animation when you're introduced to all of them. One thing it's funny playing this. I'm like, have we seen any Promethean weapons in Infinite?
I don't think
That's
so.
gonna really make
I think
me
the
sad if
Prometheans
they're-
are gone.
Yeah, it's the Banished now, right? So we're gonna
Yeah,
see like
I think we are
brute-esque
fighting,
weapons.
as far as we know, just the Banished.
Like it does. Playing through all these games has made me realize that I was kind of missing a lot of these weapons in the Halo Infinite beta and stuff like that. And I'm like, man, you brought this whole cool arsenal in
No
and all this stuff,
DMR.
and now like the DMR seems to be gone. There's like, so it's kind of making me sad that like it's nice to see new weapons, it's nice to see all these new stuff, and they do look complementary even in Infinite to this. But like, yeah, these weapons are really cool, and it kind of sucks if we're really just kind of throwing them out now. And once we get into these next games,
Yeah.
and especially with Halo 5, just that game plays so well. But we'll get to that later.
So episode 30, we're doing Shutdown, the Composer, Epilogue, and Midnight is before Epilogue. I don't know why I read Epilogue first. But Shutdown is the 6th level of Halo 4. For the first time in any Halo game, we'll pilot a Pelican as Infinity flees Requiem. Cortana's rampancy worsens. Master Chief struggles to stop the Didact from pursuing the Composer. So we start off with a little bit of dialogue from cutscene. a little bit of dialogue from a cutscene. I don't know, that didn't sound right, but yeah, if you remember, the cutscene we left off on was Cortana kind of like raging against the machine in front of Del Rio and Lasky.
Was that when he was like, "I'm ordering you," and then he just screams, "There's a red He put his heart and soul into that line.
He does a lot of yelling.
Yeah,
I
he
mean,
does.
One thing,
He's like, "Arrest him!"
Del Rio sucks.
Yeah, he does. He's
sucks.
awful.
But and he's made to suck. I feel
Yeah,
like
he's
too.
really-
Like
yeah.
he's just there to be the asshole general, which I do think we'll get to it later. But like he does kind of get his comeuppance in a certain way. But it's like, yeah, what? He's the master. Like what?
Who-
Like who are you talking to?
I
Like,
love,
what-
I love how Master Chief is just like, "No, I'm not going to listen
No,
to
it's
you."
so the other,
No,
yeah.
sir.
Lasky's like he's like arrest this man, and Lasky's like, what? Like what?
He's like,
looking at Chief like,
bruh.
sure, yeah. It is. I do like one thing we did bring up at the beginning of this. They do like to show his like imposing kind of size, and it does really.
Yeah.
Like you feel it.
The scale of
this.
Master
and like
Chief.
Palmer even said, Palmer says something like, "I thought you'd be taller" or something.
Yeah, like it's good. Good stuff.
So Cortana starts off with saying, "I can give you over 40,000 reasons why I know that sun isn't real. I know because the emitter's Rayleigh effect is disproportionate to its suggested size. I know because its stellar cycle is more symmetrical than the actual star. But for all that, I'll never know if it actually looks real, if it feels real." Cortana turns to Chief, loading his weapon. Before this is all over, promise me you'll figure out which one of us is the machine." Lasky enters the room.
So what's your plan?
Infinity's tracked the Didax vessel to a docking structure southeast of here. We'll jump ship as Infinity exits the roof.
You know, I was sent down here with orders to prevent you from leaving. In case you hadn't already gone, I took precaution of ordering a Pelican outfitted with a full combat pursuit.
Pelican slowly rises behind Chief.
I hope to God you're wrong about that Forerunner or whatever he is, Chief. But even if you're not,
Lasky nods his head toward the Pelican.
and Chief, good luck, both of you.
Lasky leaves the room and Cortana looks to Master Chief. "Come on, Chief. Take a girl for a ride." Wow.
Did we talk about her design?
Not really.
Really?
I like it. I mean,
yeah.
And is it that much? Is it like majorly changed?
I mean,
Like her-
she's, normal looking and naked looking.
Yeah,
no, exactly.
She's like pretty sexualized, but
I think so.
She looks
Very
great.
sexual.
I think in 5 when she's wearing clothes is a bit disjarring.
It is so funny to like see that. I'm like, oh, what? Like, yeah, I definitely think she has a perfect body. Absolutely. Like that's like no, I don't like. That's just all we're gonna say here.
Let's
And
just get it
she's
out there.
naked. Well, but and she's yeah. It's funny. I guess like I really didn't even notice as much, but maybe because I'm just so used to seeing Cortana just like basically nude, but she's like not nude because she
Yeah.
doesn't have any. She's just obviously
Right.
there's nothing
and
going on.
the lines are covering her,
Yeah, no, I don't like.
bits.
I guess I was kind of more like enamored with how her like her body like glows and like
Yeah.
it literally like no truly like it really like it's a cool design. I don't know. Yeah,
Yeah, I like the way she looks in 4 a lot because in every game besides 3, she changes a little. Like in 1, she's got like a shorter hairstyle and she's purple, and then 2, she kind of changes. 3, she stays the same, and then in 4, a lot different looking. 5, a lot different
Yeah.
looking.
How I really need I need to see the difference between her and 3 and 4 because I feel like it was just more of like oh they just made her look how she looks but with the best graphics you can at the time.
Right, and I think
Like,
there's a
that's-
coloring change.
Yeah, sure.
Because she's more like purpley again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah.
So before we enter the Pelican to kind of go through the level, there's a few things in this area. One, I noticed the Marines saluting you, which I found was pretty interesting, given the
Yeah.
fact that you're like out to be arrested. Marines just don't give a flying fuck.
Yeah, Del Rio seems like a really like good commander.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely got his troops in order.
Everyone.
There's an Easter egg. So if you go around to the room down to like the bottom floor where you're going up to the Pelican, there's 2 Marines standing near 2 crates, and that is an Easter egg. Conan O'Brien and Andy Richter
Oh,
are
really?
featured, and they have like a dialogue about the workers using boxes, rugs, and never waking ancient aliens. Yeah, so they
That's pretty
have
good.
goofy
I wish
conversation.
I wish I saw that.
There's another Easter egg similar to that one, except you hear the War Games announcer Jeff Steitzler, so the multiplayer announcer, and he's just talking to somebody, and yeah, and then we get on to the Pelican, fly outside. There's kind of 2 similar sections. One we're riding a gondola, and then one I think what we're just walking
What's with
through.
Halo and gondolas?
Halo, yeah, very good.
Literally,
point.
I saw this
is
the other
third or
like
fourth
I literally
gondola.
was doing it, and I'm like, is there a gondola game? Like, what is happening here? Like, or like some type of
I
slow...
kind of like it.
No, they work fine, but
Forerunners.
It's definitely stuck out. No, you're right. That's
yeah.
absolutely true. They're consistent with their design. I did like make a mental note of that when I noticed it.
One thing I kind of noticed in Halo 4, I feel like there's a lot of going to things and pushing it and going back and then
Yeah.
maybe doing it again a little bit too much.
I agree.
And I feel like in Shutdown, it's really... This level feels like New Alexandria from Reach.
Yes,
1.
100%.
And then 2, yeah, we're just like, there's just way too much. Go here, push that. Do it again, push that. Go back to the center. Like,
No, you're right.
a lot of Cortana like telling you to go places.
Just to go do things and a bit of fetch questy.
So on the gondola ride, she says something interesting. To take a page out of our old playbook, we're going to tune your shield to emit an EMP at the same frequency as the communication network. You'll need to do... all you need to do is to trigger it to make some sort of physical contact with the carrier wave generator. So that's from Halo 1,
Halo
where
1.
we're running into the those wave
I have no
emitters
idea.
on,
You
on
could
I
walk
Halo.
cannot. Yeah, it's so funny.
That's just back
barely
from Halo
remember
1.
that,
I always shot them and was wondering
Yeah.
why nothing was ever happening.
Yeah.
I like that line.
No, it's a nice
I like
callback.
that.
Yeah.
We'll pick up our final Promethean's weapons here. The Z-18 now. The Z-180 close combat rifle and the Z-390 high explosive munition rifle. That is the incinerator cannon and the scatter shot. Not a lot of lore with any of these new 343 stuff, by the way.
Really?
The lore
Yeah, I remember
is
you mentioning that
very
last time, and like
little.
it's just like this is the weapon.
Right. Like,
Because
I'm
I
like,
guess you'd think about like how would they know much about how these weapons were created, even in the canon of the story. Like
that Halo Bible, they must have really fleshed shit out because that has to be where all that stuff from that previous things are.
I do think so. Yeah, and I think they just extrapolated.
Dude, like, I don't know if you went to the wiki and like looked around, but like the pages for like the assault rifle are fucking lengthy.
Really?
There's a lot of information on just the fucking like the way the gun's designed, and then when it comes to Promethean weapons, it's like it's a shotgun. It like does this. That's it. Like, it barely really has, like, any sort of lore to it. But, like, again, like, what game, like, has extensive lore on, like, every weapon in its arsenal?
like why it was created for what? Yeah, exactly.
Right.
That stuff. Yeah.
So, what do you guys think about the scatter shot and the incinerator cannon?
I think the scatter shot's better in 5 than it is 4, just from playing.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
They're still good.
Yeah,
no,
it's still-
I think the scatter shots. It's a great shotgun.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, it's like it's funny. I was playing on no, I guess I was playing on normal, but so those would shoot in one shot. But I felt like Prometheans, even with like the binary rifle or whatever, one shot to the head like wouldn't kill them. Sometimes it would, but then other times it wouldn't. I was really confused, unless I was just missing those other times. But it really felt like I was hitting them in the head.
No, yeah.
Like, I don't know.
You're right.
Yeah,
100%.
it's weird.
Yeah, I mean, I prefer out of these two the incinerator cannon. The incinerator cannon's
Doo-doo.
yeah,
I don't really
fun
know.
as shit
I
to
feel like I
use.
keep killing myself with the incinerator cannon like a moron. I don't like how it bounces around everywhere. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Like, so I like I feel like they really do. I mean, we'll get to it. I think they hone in some of these weapons in 5 a lot better.
Yeah, I
and
agree.
like kind of fine tune them. Like even the bolt shot and stuff like that.
Yeah, the bolt
I
shots
kind of
are
like how they
different.
take away that like secondary fire application that, you know, I'm playing Dead Space 2 right now, and like Dead Space is all about like alternate fire modes for every gun has it, and I feel like that is like the gimmick with the Promethean weapons, which is fine, don't get me wrong, I say gimmick, but I don't
But it's
mean
funny
it in,
they
like, a bad
barely even
way.
like. I guess because you're right. So like with the beam rifle, like the ammunition changes in the corner when you zoom in.
Yeah.
So like it becomes it's a stronger shot when you're aiming down the rifle.
Right.
That's what I thought. Okay.
Yeah.
That is interesting. I don't know if they carry that over in 5.
They don't.
That's what I didn't think so.
Yeah,
okay,
they don't. They take that entirely away. Like the bolt shot
I do
turns
think that's
into
good.
a mauler.
Yeah, it's like
essentially.
a shot. Yeah.
Yeah, it turns into a shotgun.
Yeah. Which doesn't again work very well. Like
Oh, I kind of like it.
I felt like I was like I don't know. I feel like if you're in a Promethean's face with that, it should be like I don't know. At least get them down pretty much there. They felt a little bit underpowered in some respects, then overpowered in others. I didn't quite understand it.
During this gondola part, the Didac has a few lines, but one of the more interesting ones I noted was he says, "You're a fool. Even now, your kind tinkers with the composer in the shadow of the third ring. Children and fire who disregard the welfare of our galaxy."
They did a real good job with the audio mixing. Definitely a step up. I mean, the
Yeah.
subtitles actually work. I can hear. I can hear like what's going on in the background.
Yeah, you're like, that's true. You can
I
hear,
can hear
the
what they're saying.
dialogue.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I could see now what they're talking about.
Yeah,
in the background.
the didact chimes in a lot at this part. So after again we hit those two buttons, we head to the main spire to attempt the didact from leaving. Cortana, we get her into the main consoles. John plugs her in, and her avatar appears distorted and flickering. Tapping into the spire's central net, the spire moves surrounding the cryptum, physically blocking it from launching. Cortana in a rampant state. They're mine! Now to imprison them! The tower begins to fall.
What are you doing?
Like he imprisoned his Prometheans, like Dr. Halsey imprisoned me. Cortana suddenly thrashes in agony as the spire plummets downwards, crushing a nearby lich in the process. Several more flying toward the cryptum. Chief!
His ship's online. They're leaving.
I'm sorry. I don't know what... Cortana's avatar fades into the back into a sphere, flickering between blue and red. John plugs her back into his helmet.
Track those liches. We can go across them to get to the didact ship.
John's HUD flickers purple as Cortana speaks. Wait, across them?
Yes.
There are several liches moving in formation towards the didact ship. We're only gonna have one shot at this. The control room floor retracts downward, allowing Chief outside. Okay, go. John runs off the edge of the platform like a crazy person. Jumps towards the liches.
it's funny. He jumped off that. I'm like, where is he? Oh, okay. Like
So, yeah. So essentially, what will happen is Chief will like fucking hopscotch across some liches, and like get onto the Forerunner ship. And then essentially it'll slip space jump to where the composer's being held at a facility outside of
don't the
Installation
liches
3.
slip space jump while he's on the lich, then he takes over it and then gets onto it with
Right,
the lich.
it's the
Yeah,
lich. Yeah. And then he gets into the lich, and that's the next level. But he'll fucking he'll like disable the crew. I love the liches. They're
They're cool.
so cool.
No, they are.
And then he'll crash land into the whatever the station that is. But we have our terminal before we end this level.
So this terminal opens with a shot of a holographic map of the Milky Way galaxy, with red centers representing flood infestation. Faber and the librarian discuss the flood and how igniting the Halo rings is the only way to quell the infestation. Cut to the didact, who has since experimented on himself to find a way to make him immune to the flood infection. He fails, and a Promethean warrior enters and says the composer is the only way to defeat the flood. Camera cuts to the surface of Requiem, where the didact is surrounded by Forerunner knights as they get ready to fight.
I wonder if the Flood are extinct after Halo 3. It's not really explicitly stated. And Didact never brings it up, ironically enough.
What if the flood like crash land on a place that doesn't have interstellar like they would just have to wait there until like someone discovered that world, basically.
Probably.
Right?
Yeah,
Like,
I mean that's essentially what the Halo rings were. Like
Yeah.
there's nothing.
But when they
There's nothing to take over.
it doesn't have so
They didn't have a host.
they have a collective mind. I mean, if there's
See,
people,
if they're people
there's
they're
no
collecting,
people, or-
they don't know, and those people
Yeah.
don't know what that like. If it started on like a primitive planet,
Like primitive humans.
yeah, like maybe
Yeah.
they could develop. Maybe as the hive mind, it could develop. Like interesting thoughts. But no, that's interesting. I did want to bring back to really quick. How do we feel like the Pelican played? Because it felt a bit weirdly sluggish to me. It was
I
interesting to-
expect that.
Yeah, I guess it
it's-
makes sense
it's
because it
little
is a
heavy.
gigantic ship.
Yeah. Yeah,
or it's
I-
like an actual ship. But no, I think it's interesting how we do play a lot of different vehicles in this game.
And we finally, after
How long?
6 games, we get to pilot the Pelican. I feel like one of the most iconic
Yes, absolutely.
vehicles in Halo.
I do think 343 had a guy. They were probably like, "There's all these like things that we never got to drive in, in the whole Halo series. Let's fucking do that. Like,
Yeah, oh, yeah.
seriously, like let's have
Yeah.
Chief pilot a Pelican for a minute."
Right.
But that did remind me of which game was it? Was it the last game with the? It was Reach when you were like going to those different rooftops.
Yeah,
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 Alexandria.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what it felt
Yeah.
like.
In a, what's that vehicle called?
I'm trying.
Falcon.
Falcon. Yeah.
Then we were like, oh, we thought these were Hornets.
Hornets.
Like, what?
What's the difference?
So our next level is Composer, 7th level of the game. Master Chief's pursuit of the Didact leads him to a UNSC science station orbiting Installation 3.
This level is dark as shit. As in like
physically
like
dark.
a tone. No.
Oh, yeah.
This level's crazy. This is probably my favorite level in the
I'm
in the
interested
game.
to hear what you have to
Yeah.
say as we go through it.
Yeah, yeah.
So we jump out, we get out of split space, and Master Chief goes,
A Halo?
Installation 3. It's where Infinity found the coordinates for Requiem. John looks up at the Halo.
Then why are we then why are they bypassing it?
Cut to a nearby asteroid belt where most of the Covenant craft are flying towards a human station built on one of the asteroids, because the composer's not on the ring. Numerous phantoms and liches approach the station. We cut to Master Chief. What are you waiting for? The station's not going to save itself. We fade to black a moment later. John has killed the Covenant and he's taking control of the Lich. Cortana says, "Put me into the console," in a distorted voice.
This is UNSC Master Chief to base. Do you read?
Yes, I hear you. This is Sandy Tilson of Ivanov Station. We are under attack.
They're after a Forerunner artifact you took from the Halo ring.
How do you know about that?
Doctor, I need you to protect that artifact until we arrive. Send whatever.
The hologram of the station flickers and disappears completely, replaced by a figure of Cortana who's undergoing another rampancy fit. Cortana says in a distorted, high-pitched voice, "Do you know what that condescending bitch said to me after our first game of chess?"
Cortana.
I don't even call him by name anymore. I think that's referencing Captain Keyes.
That's exactly what I thought.
Yeah, I can't tell.
Even the next line.
Who is actually the first line? Who's actually saying it? Is it Halsey or is it Cortana?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really strange. But that second line is definitely Halsey talking about Captain Keyes.
Definitely.
Yeah. A red signal flashes on screen as the Lich flies toward the station on a collision course.
Correct your approach.
Yes. Well, he also said that he works better alone. Obviously about Captain Keyes.
Yeah.
The Lich flies dangerously close to the station with no deceleration. The red signals continue to flash. "I can see why you chose him, Catherine.
Cortana.
I am your greatest achievement, and you detest me."
Pull up now.
And we crash. We're good.
Crash
Chief gets
into
up.
me.
Cortana says, "I'm sorry. I just can't stop them." And Chief's HUD flickers. It's like 1,000 of me arguing all at once. We grab our assault rifle and gear up. Tilson sort of has a dialogue here, lets us know that the Covenant are taking over, and sends our coordinates to pretty much go get to her. So this is the first time we've heard a ton about the Composer up until this point, but this is the first time we actually see it. The Composer were pieces of Forerunner technology created by the Forerunners in order to gain a foothold against the Flood in the Forerunner Flood War. They're capable of bridging organic life and digital technology together. One was used by the Didact on ancient humans, adding to his legion of digitized beings called the Prometheans. The Composers were originally intended to allow Forerunners to become immortal. Really interesting themes going on here.
Because I'm not gonna lie, when we were going through this whole Composer stuff, I'm like, what is a Composer? What are we?
And the mantle
why are
of
we really going? Yeah, what
tossed around?
Where are we going? Why? I mean, I understood that we were trying to stop the Didact from doing things, but the specifics were eluding me while I was playing it for sure. But this is very interesting.
Yeah, this terminal that's coming up actually talks about.
Do you want to?
Yeah, we can just go right into it. Yeah, sure.
If you think it's a good segue.
So. This terminal opens with the Forerunner Knights from the previous one attacking and destroying flood-infested ships above an unnamed planet. I looked and there was no name for this planet at all. The Didact floats above a village of humans as he fires the Composer onto them, digitizing the humans. The Librarian and the Didact come onto a disagreement about the Didact's actions. The Didact defends his firing of the Composer, stating that this was humanity's final payment for their crimes. Cut to the Librarian ordering life workers to move the other humans to safety, soon leaving to confront the Didact. So the Didact basically digitized the human. So basically, this is where you kind of find out that Forerunners are like the Forerunner Knights are humans.
Gotcha. They do kind of say that earlier in the game too, though.
Yeah,
right?
This is like the first time we actually see like, oh, this is the process. And he just fires down on these.
Yeah, because you don't really see it. We're just told that
what happens when he
humans.
chars those people? Like, is that what he's doing to them?
He's digitizing,
dude.
He's not killing them.
So
he's
like confused. But like, why do they turn to dust? Are they just like absorbing?
It's like part of the process.
It's like absorbing their conscience to create. Okay. Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it is really when you get that close up of like Tilson.
The girl,
oh my god.
Yeah, I was like, this is pretty brutal.
It's like, holy shit! I didn't remember this.
But with the Composer comes the Mantle of Responsibility. The Mantle of Responsibility is the belief that the most developed species was charged with tending to life in all the galaxy. Competition is allowed under the following of the mantle as long as the galactic ecosystem remains intact. Rather than allowing a species to rise and fall, the Forerunners followed their mantle, protected humanity against any threats that might have been forced, technological or cultural progression. However, they went with a new approach of inspiring peace throughout their domain by minimizing their military capacity and disarming their weapons cache, which proved a most costly decision when the new alien threat emerged. Another unforeseen side effect was that only the Forerunners were able to hold their own against the Flood, while their charges were defenseless. The Forerunners had unintentionally left the galaxy vulnerable to the Flood infection. Pretty interesting.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, the Flood, you know. And I think the idea of the mantle of responsibility is interesting. The fact that the Forerunners, like, developed this almost, like, ideology around... If you're the best, you're in charge.
If you're the most advanced,
else.
you get to lead. Yeah.
Yeah, and the humans are, you know, I think the idea was that like the Forerunners were getting ready to like pass it on to humanity.
Yeah.
And with the Flood, that didn't happen. So essentially, they got fucked by it.
Interesting.
Everyone did. We get a new weapon here. We get the M36. The M36-3 remote projectile detonator, also known as the sticky detonator, which is a single-shot, muzzle-loaded grenade, first introduced in Halo 4. Kind of an interesting addition to the arsenal. Seems like almost... It's like it just kind of replaces the grenade launcher from
Reach.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I kind of do like it a little bit better than the grenade launcher, to be honest. In Reach.
Does it still do an EMP blast? Or no? Because I know the one in Reach used to.
No, I
like
think this is just more of an
okay.
explosion.
Yeah.
But I do like how you can stick them and then you can wait to detonate. Like, I don't know. I think it's good. I like it much better.
As we move forward, we'll get into this area right before Tilson. There's like a bunch of like artifacts and devices. I know right when you get into the first level, there's this like portal thing. And if you jump through it, you just die.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. But like you can throw a grenade through it, nothing happens. But if you jump through it, you just fucking like collapse. But there's artifacts in this room. One of them is the index of installation 3. There's like symbols and stuff. One of them is a symbol you see a lot in Halo, and it's used as Cortana in her comm in Halo 5.
Oh, okay.
And I think it's a symbol for humanity or reclaimer. Humanity, I think. But they're like, yeah, you can go up and like there's like, you know, like the doctors leave, like scientists leave like recordings about the stuff. I thought it was pretty cool. So Chief, after that room we find Tilson. Chief informs Tilson that they need to destroy the composer to keep it out of the Didact's hands, and we will use nukes to do so. So Tilson lets us know.
She's kind of a bitch.
Really? You think so?
She was just like, all right, let me retract that.
You've been working on something for a while.
Yeah, they've been working on something for so long, and Chief's like, we need to blow it up, or you're fucked. And she's
Chief, I think Chief is just like, you know, doing what he has to do.
yeah. And
No, I know, but you think she would take Chief's, like, everyone knows who Chief is.
Sure.
and
I get what you're saying. She's like,
I wish you had given us more time to pack. Well, it's your fault for taking the fucking composer off the Halo ring.
Well, no, it was never there. They found it's just on the asteroid.
That's so
That's
weird.
why they couldn't move it. Oh no, maybe they did move
I thought they
'Cause he-
removed
'cause he
it
said
from. That's
something.
what I thought. They found it on Installation 3.
Oh,
and then
right,
moved it
you're
to,
right.
yeah.
They did move it there, and then they like
Humanity
said
being stupid.
They couldn't move it from where it was. Maybe they like cut it out of rock or something.
Maybe.
Well, I thought they just couldn't move it at this point because they were doing so much. Like they had it all set
No,
up.
I thought they literally couldn't move it.
Interesting.
It like rises
Because the
up out
way
of the
she
ground.
reacts is like, how's he gonna move it? Like
Yeah.
we can't move it.
Okay, that makes actually more sense then.
Yeah. Yeah, and the Didac just like fucking floats it up and takes it. So eventually we have to. I'm just reading ahead to my doc because I didn't specify exactly what we're doing.
We go through like with the mantis and walk around out in like this kind of like atrium is I think that's where you're in, and like rock, and it's a really cool area. That's one of my favorite areas. A lot of people were saying the mantis like gave people Metal Gear vibes. I don't know if that's something.
Yeah, I mean the Mantis definitely looks like a Metal Gear for sure. I'm trying to think of my doc is a little disjointed. I know where this is. So eventually we go to a console that turns on the station's main defenses. I think this is a long while after this conversation. But yeah, what Chris said, we go to that atrium and we sort of fight forward. Oh, and there, while we're getting to that defense console, there's a part where like the Covenant are coming through airlocks, and then you can jettison them out of the airlocks as they come in if you hit like the green button on the front, which I thought was pretty funny. Cortana says that's the main defense console, and John his HUD starts flickering, and Cortana in a rampant state goes, "My intervention is the prerequisite of success." And then an ominous whisper, "Why should we save them?" John takes out all the Sinhealy in this room, and Cortana, maniacally laughing, says, "Insert me into the defense grid."
Great stuff.
we cut to John's first-person view. Several scientists, including Tilson, are on the platform running some tests, or some running around on their tasks. Tilson is conversing with two coworkers.
They've compromised the station's hull.
And we cut to John running over to the nearby console, passing Tilson on the way.
Didac's taking the composer. Get these people to the evac centers.
Taken how? Oh, sorry.
No, say it again.
Taken how?
Tap the flight deck. Find us something that could carry a payload.
Wait, something's happening.
Tilson and the scientists stop to look at the mantle's approach, which is closing in on the station. The composer on it starts charging.
Cortana, can you access the station's defense systems?
They're not responding. The composer continues to charge. Cortana is attempting to start the defense systems to no avail.
Cortana?
Cortana turns to look at him. The hologram is flashing an error warning. "Chief, it's..." The composer fires. The scientists stagger from below, their skin already starting to flake off into units of data. They then begin to collapse. Cut to a close-in of Tilson. She screams in pain as her skin, muscle, and skeletal systems are broken down into orange flakes of data. John is unaffected, though. His armor flickers orange, and he collapses on the floor and blacks out. John awakens sometime later, the staff now reduced to ashes. Cortana is sitting on the pedestal, forlorn. Vapor is rising from John's armor, as well as the pile of ashes that are remaining are the remains of the scientists. He wakes up, looks around, gets up to one knee, and Cortana looks at him. "Are you okay?" John stands up with his assault rifle and looks around at the pile of ashes. "I monitored the data pulse. I could hear them, what was left of them.
We need to move.
These people are gone.
And more will follow if the Didact reaches Earth.
They'll pair you with another AI. Maybe even another Cortana model, if Halsey lets them.
That's not going to happen.
It won't be me. You know that, right?" John doesn't respond. Turning around again, Cortana stands up and activates the hologram. Spinning up a broadsword at hangar C11. Whatever the librarian did to you obviously worked.
Cortana.
Say it again.
Cortana.
Cortana turns towards him.
It's not over. Not yet.
Not yet. And that is our level.
What does she mean, other Cortana models? I thought she's the only Cortana.
They could probably make another if they really wanted to.
But I thought the whole point is that she's like a forerunner.
Like the whole point of Halo Reach.
What is
the end.
happening? Like, what? I'm so confused.
It's girl things.
Okay, fair enough. I don't understand.
She's probably going through some stuff while she's going
I'm
rampant.
sure they could make another one if they really wanted to.
No, I know, but I thought the idea was like she was like the most advanced AI out there.
She is.
Mm-hmm.
And like I thought that was because like of Forerunner tech, like with like
That's integrated with her biology.
Yeah, like her-
Yeah, I think you're right, but I don't think that's
so it'd be a
prevents
hollow copy.
Right. I don't think it prevents Halsey from like necessarily like she probably still has the data, right? Like
I think so.
I think they could easily
and it's a
be
couple
like,
years later now, and
Right.
now that they have,
I don't
they've
know.
been on,
This sounds like a lot of excuse. No, I'm kidding.
they've been on Requiem. I feel
No,
like
yeah,
they had the
it's
Forerunner.
just interesting. I was just a little bit confused by that. There's a few story threads I feel like in these games that, not a ton, but there's a few that kind of fray out. And I'm like, but for the most part, I don't think
that is
that one. Well, no, that's just one of those that just stick out to me a little bit. Where I'm like, that confuses me.
And she also is kind of emotionally distressed.
Yeah.
She could just be saying that. Mm-hmm. Like
Sure.
Like Chris said, girl things, but I think he has a point.
Yeah.
fair enough. No, that makes sense.
So what do you guys think of Sandra Tilson reduced to ashes right in front of you?
That was
She got like snapped.
I did not expect. I did not. It's funny. I thought I was playing through these last like couple levels, and I was like, "Did I finish Halo 4?" Like, because I was like, I don't remember this at
I
all.
think the composer is one of the levels I really do remember.
That's
Yeah.
the one. So when I got to the composer and like the like end and like, I was like, "Oh, this I remember." Okay,
Yeah.
this I like this whole end part where you're pushing the buttons and all that shit. But
a lot of button pushing.
not about yeah, you're right. That doesn't narrow it down. But yeah, no, I was truly sitting there for a few like these last 3 levels like. Did I finish it? I must have, and then I did.
Yeah, and the hangar kind of holdout is is pretty enjoyable.
Yeah.
Like you said earlier. So our final level, Midnight. The synopsis: with the composer in the Didact's possession, Chief and Cortana must destroy the device before he turns on his next target. Midnight is the 8th and final level of Halo 4. 8 levels.
Yeah, that's
Not a lot. I think it's probably as short as Halo 1.
Halo 1. Yeah, I was looking at like the time, like people's time to beat, and people said Halo 1 was the longest in terms of like 10. It took people 10 hours to beat, compared to like Halo 4 was like 8 hours. So like they're not that far apart in terms of like length. But
To be honest, I really like it. I like it. I like that's a little bit more short and to the point. I do
Halo's
think
really tight, and again, I think it's because they're trying to tell a very particular story.
and I
Yeah.
think that's something they don't do too well
In
in
5.
5. So we'll talk about that when we get to that.
Yeah, with our Havoc nuke now in tow aboard a broadsword, we navigate the Didact ship looking for a way in, a la Empire Strikes Back.
yeah, this
was-
is their
I
version
gotta
of the
admit,
Warthog
these,
run.
like, these-
This was fun.
A lot of
This-
these vehicle things are fun.
The
They are.
mid, yeah, this is basically our replacement for the Warthog.
Yeah,
run.
That's what I was thinking. I was
Yeah.
like, this totally lines up. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Did you guys
again,
ever do this on like legendary co-op?
Yeah.
Dude, if one person messes up, I'm pretty sure it sends you back.
It's all
Dude, I was on easy. I was fucking up.
Dude,
Yeah, it's
I was just charged, doosh, 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 like same fucking wall. I'm like, are you kidding me,
yeah,
man?
man.
Yeah, there was the one gate that kept closing. I'm like, where do I go? And I had
Yeah,
to go
yeah.
under
The
it.
gates like kind of like come
Yeah.
towards you, and yeah. Who wants to be Fleet Comm? I'll be Lasky.
I'll be Fleet
When he
Comm.
chimes in, and Cortana. Go for it. Do something goofy.
At the current velocity, hostile will achieve Earth orbit in approximately 4 minutes.
Roger, Battle Group Dakota, close on the Forerunner vessel.
Infinity must have warned them.
Sierra 117 to UNSC Infinity. Captain Del Rio, do you read?
Chief, it's Lasky. Is that you?
Affirmative, sir. Where's the captain?
Fleepcon didn't take too kindly to his abandoning you on Requiem. I'm
Yeah.
afraid I'll have to do.
What the fuck did he think was going to happen when he went back out? You found Master Chief? Yeah. Oh, he's with you? No, he left him. He said there was like a grave threat on that planet. What? Like, it's so good. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt
And
you there.
like, mind you, he's been missing for 4 years.
yeah, that's what
yeah.
I mean.
Like,
That's
they found
like,
him and they
what
just
do you
left
think's
him.
going to happen?
Yeah.
The Didact's got the composer. We're in a broadsword carrying a Havoc grade payload on approach to deliver it.
Let's see if we can grease those wheels for you. All ships, prepare to engage.
John heads down a tunnel. Moments later, his HUD hints purple and begins to flicker with static. Cortana's image appears on a side screen. Multiple waypoints are listed on John's HUD.
Chief, I know I'm supposed to know what to do, but
We'll have to deploy the warhead manually. How and where?
I always know what to do. Just give me a second. This is after we go in the ship, by the way. I kind of skipped that. So we're inside the ship now. Lasky helped us out. He's a good guy.
Great dude.
Keep scanning for the composer. We'll figure it out along the way.
John jumps down a shaft. He descends slowly by gravity lift.
I won't leave you. I promise. I will always take care of you.
Chief passes through a portal at the end of into another room with several portals.
Can't fight Didact and myself simultaneously. Opening another portal.
He travels higher up into the next room until he reaches it. The next room is an armory. A whispering Cortana can be heard in the background.
I'm sorry. I can't control what my processes are doing. The stronger threads keep reprioritizing themselves. John, our mother needs us.
What about the Didact?
I can't hide much longer. I'll try to move you to the composer again. Chief, once that warhead is primed, the window for getting out is here is going to be pretty slim.
I know.
The room's roof opens up, revealing Earth in the sky above. An enormous slip-space portal forms in the chasm below the machine.
And so, you come at last.
Activity, significant split space event, building under the composer.
He's powering it up.
John lands on a platform with a hallway leading further in. He passes through the door, and he sees an orange energy shield now surrounding the Didact and his machine. The shield is projected by two beams at opposite ends.
The Didact shielded himself inside the composer. The nuke won't do us any good unless we find and disable the barrier. The nuke won't do us any good unless we can disable that barrier. Find me a terminal.
John plugs her into a terminal at the end of the platform. Cortana's image appears, now flickering badly.
I've got to do something you're not gonna like.
Cortana screams and her body contorts in pain. Each time she steps to the side, another Cortana emerges from her and disappears into the terminal. John retrieves her.
What did you just do?
I ejected my rampant personality spikes into the system. If I do that at each of those beams, the copies can overwhelm the composer's shielding.
John rides a man cannon to the other platform.
Man cannon.
Get ready.
The shield around the...
So yeah, we do the three fucking buttons.
Yeah,
yeah.
go push.
The shield around the composer flickers out, but the beam on the weapon itself is active. Cut to the didact, fully armored and standing in front of the beam.
And yet, still you fail.
With a wave of his hand, the composer activates the fires at Earth, seen above. The beam strikes on the North American Southwest.
New Phoenix in Arizona.
Interesting.
Really?
Specifically, yes.
The
the New Phoenix incident is what this event is.
Is referred to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is that like in a book or?
It's in Spartan Ops.
Gotcha.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
The didact rises into the beam itself, while enormous amounts of energy are seen surging below in the machine. Cortana turns to John. John tries to retrieve her, but the terminal suddenly disintegrates, knocking John away and draining his shields.
Cortana!
The way he says that
Yes,
line
exactly.
is really strange.
It's so weird.
Cortana!
Yeah, he's like, Cortana!
It really does say like that. Like just do a little bit more in it. And he's like, Cortana. Like,
Cortana!
yeah. John stands up and retrieves his weapons. As he runs down the platform, he can hear Cortana whispering in the background. The phrases play at random.
Save me, destroy it, take it to the core, destroy it. I'll always take care of you. We will light this. Place the bomb in the core.
John returns to the original platform via a man cannon and fights off more Prometheans. Midway through, his HUD flickers more violently and more.
Cortana in a rampant state. Prime the nuke! Save them! Destroy the composer!
The current objective notice appears on John's HUD, but rather than an objective, it is a message from Cortana. It is all right, but you must hurry. John reaches the gravity lift at the end of the hall and is lifted to the light bridge. He runs down to reach the machine at the end, and a cutscene ensues. John cautiously walks down a bridge, keeping an eye out for the didact. Looking into the beam, he sees the didact inside vanish. He continues to walk forward, then turns and aims his battle rifle when he hears the didact speak.
You persist too long after your own defeat.
John levels his weapon, but can't see the didact anywhere. Seemingly alone, he cautiously backs away and continues down the bridge. Behind him, the didact floats down.
Come then, warrior. Have your resolution.
John turns to fire at him, but the didact telekinetically bats him away. John's battle rifle falls off the bridge, and the nuke falls towards the end of it. John skids to a stop, turns and looks at the didact, then the nuke, and charges towards the nuke. But the didact again telekinetically stops him. The Forerunner lifts him midair and floats John towards him, removing his helmet as he does so.
So misguided.
The didact floats John over the edge of the bridge, and he is unable to free himself. His shield flickers from the constraint.
Humanity's imprisonment is a kindness.
The didact tightens his fist, and John begins to choke. All right, Darth Vader. Hearing a strange whispering, the didact sees multiple Cortana rise from his light bridge.
In that case, you won't mind if we return the favor.
Your compassion for mankind is misplaced.
I'm not doing this for mankind.
The Cortanas leap onto his armor and form chains of light that hold him down. The didact loses his grip on John, who manages to catch himself on the edge of the light bridge, and he looks up.
So basically, this boss fight is a grenade into the chest, and he dies.
It was very.
It's very lame.
Yeah,
like that's truly the didact is where this game falls, if anywhere.
Yeah,
he's
didact
not
is
very
not good.
compelling.
If you didn't look at the terminals and like read into his like
you
backstory
really
and
get
stuff,
like nothing from him at all.
it's just like, who is this guy? And
And
I
I do
get
think
what he's
this-
gonna do, but
I do think the story is supposed to be more about Chief and Cortana's relationship and like her becoming rampant and him losing her. But yeah, it would have been nice if the main villain was a bit stronger, for sure.
Yeah. Quick, nice. Press X to put grenade in chest.
Again, I was like, why did you pull
know,
me out of a cutscene for a second? Just
when you
do it in a
fail?
cutscene. Yeah.
Right. It almost
Like,
should have just
yeah,
been a
the
cutscene.
cutscene,
honestly.
But again, Halo has never really been good at boss encounters, and we see that again with the Warden Eternal in 5. They just can't get it right.
Warden Eternal will return.
Two studios just never have gotten a boss fight right with Halo.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. They're not. I don't think they're really. Yeah, like it's weird.
I'll give it.
I don't even feel like you can consider this a boss fight. It's just
No, it's not.
Yeah,
but
you
like
like
it
it, but,
is.
like,
It is, and
but
it
it's not.
isn't.
Technically
Yeah.
is, but because you like literally the only thing that makes it gameplay is that you are put into first person and have to press the RB to grenade him, and that's it.
Yeah, you literally
It's so
push
weird.
left stick to crawl, and then you pick up
X to
a
pay
grenade.
respect.
Yeah,
That's all.
basically. Yeah, and if you fail, if you don't put the grenade into his chest, he like slaps the grenade away and then picks you up and just tosses you off the light bridge.
So
And
he
you're
dies
just, like,
there.
floating down.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow. Yes. It's funny. I was like, oh, is that like so? He'll
be back, right?
Yeah, like he's coming back. No. Okay. All right.
The didact will
So
return.
that means all the Forerunners are dead then.
No, because there are 5. Oh, yes.
Like all
The
the
Forerunners.
Forerunner species is now fully extinct, right?
You can
Like,
assume
you
that.
would- that's based on what we know now. Yeah.
Right.
Cortana, come in. How?
Oh, I'm the strangest thing you've seen all day?
But if we're here,
It worked. You did it. Just like you always do.
so how do we get out of here?
I'm not coming with you this time.
What?
Most of me is down there. I only held enough back to get you off the ship.
No. That's not... We go together.
It's already done.
I am not leaving you here.
John. I've waited so long to do that.
It was my job to take care of you.
We were supposed to take care of each other. And we did.
Cortana, please. Wait.
Welcome home, John.
This whole scene was really well done.
Yeah,
and it
this-
was very touching. Like there's a
Yeah. So,
like I don't remember it having as much resonance for me when I first played. Like when I first played it.
Yeah.
I love that she comes out and like she's normal size, but I guess she's like, how tall is Master Chief?
It's like 7 feet something. I
So
thought, right?
like,
She's like up to his like pec.
yeah,
She's probably like 5, like
5'10",
5'8",
5'9"?
Yeah, probably a
the-
little tall for
Yeah.
a woman.
Yeah.
But it's funny because I'm like, why is she so? I'm like,
I know,
yeah,
yeah, that's what
John's
I
a
said.
fucking 7-foot man.
Yeah, I think it's kind of funny. Even her rampant state, like I know, like she like walks towards him, and Master Chief's kind of like in awe, and then she's like, "Oh, I'm the strangest thing you've seen all day." Like,
So like,
still
what
with
was
the
that? Was
jokes.
just like in his like, how did he see that? Like, I was a
I
little
think
confused.
Cortana saves him.
I think so.
I think that's what that is.
Yeah,
It's never
just-
really interpreted what exactly happens there, but I think she like protects him from the blast. Yeah,
like because he's on the light bridge, I guess.
Maybe,
I
yeah.
don't know, like,
it says like when he's like surrounded by hard light.
yeah.
So
I think one of the other thing that's interesting is Master Chief hesitates for the first time in the series.
Interesting.
When he goes, she goes, most of me is down there. I held you, I held enough to get you back off the ship. And he goes, no, that's not, we go together. And like, he stops his sentence like mid
It's not.
Yeah.
No,
like
that's
he just like
interesting.
doesn't know what to say. I'm like, it's really interesting that like of all things, I mean, it's really, I guess it really isn't surprising, but like it's his like, I'll say like love of Cortana that like gets him to like pause at things. Like it's really interesting because
Well,
like
I mean, and then even like when he's just sitting there at the end, he's like,
He doesn't
he's
even
just
know what to
staring.
do.
Exactly.
Broken.
Like it is like
Master Chief
is.
at his core is broken.
Is
I
broken.
asked him this, and it was a very deep question. We were talking about that first cutscene, which unfortunately you missed. But what I was saying is like, because that Oni guy or whoever he is asks Halsey, does he think that because
Chief works.
because he was at his core broken. I asked Trio, do you think Master Chief is broken? And like Trio just like, I don't know.
I mean, I guess like he's broken in the way of like he was basically broken into this as a child, and like he conscripted, and like he had no choice to be like he was broken into, not broken, he was built into a soldier.
So
and now that's all he and even the way he talks at the end, like we'll get into the cutscene, but I do think that whole interchange with Lasky is amazing,
incredible.
I think
like
it's
these
really
two
well done.
cutscenes, I think, are some of the best dialogue.
They really are.
And writing in the series, but I guess, you know, now that Cortana is dead, I think this is what breaks Master Chief, and I guess like he's
had her by his side for.
I think Master Chief is kind of broken.
Yeah.
I think he is. Even before this, I think like that's why he works, because like he doesn't have this part of his humanity that clearly everyone else has.
But I feel like almost Cortana gave like that was kind of Cortana's a bit of his drive. Yeah, like it's his inner, it's his not conscience, but it's his. I don't even know how to describe it. It's the person he's been with. Like it's been his like rock.
I think conscious is kind of an appropriate
Yeah.
thing. She's the voice in his head.
Yeah.
And in Halo 5, there's some interesting dialogue. We'll talk about it today, but I think Linda or Fred asks Chief what it's like to have an AI in your helmet, and he says it's like I forget how he responds, but it's like it's interesting or something like that, or he says something to that effect, and then he goes, but like that's all I'll say about it. Like he just stops it right there. Like yeah, like I think it's some ambient dialogue like while you're running on the reunion level when you get to Genesis, and yeah, and she's just like, you know, and he was like, do you want to talk about it? And he's like, no, like he just like flat out, that's all he says. It's like, oh, okay, damn, yeah, fucking fantastic scene here.
It really is,
between Master Chief and Cortana, like. Yeah, and she touches him, and like, yeah, she's like, I've been waiting so long to do that, and it's like, in the most like romantic way possible without actually being romantic. Like they never cross that line of like,
and
they're
it's
like
kind of tough
lovers.
to do that even because you don't see John's face, so you kind of, it's almost like, I don't want to say it's like his mother, but like it's like his it's his guardian. Like I don't like a weird, like I don't even know how to describe, like yeah, because it doesn't feel
It feels romantic, but it doesn't.
It's weird. I don't know how to. You're right. I don't know how to even put it into words. You're right.
Yeah, they don't feel like lovers.
Yeah,
at all.
absolutely not.
But they like.
You feel this like connection between them.
It's weird. It's deep.
Do you want to read the terminal before we do the epilogue?
So the final terminal in Halo 4 opens with the Didact piloting his ship as the librarian appears behind him wielding a binary rifle. She shoots the Didact in the chest twice. He collapses on the ground motionless. Camera cuts to Requiem as the spires that line the planet retract into the shield world. The librarian then returns to the room where the Didact body lays. His body, which is caught in an anti-grav field, begins to float. The librarian states that she is locking the Didact away in Requiem so that humanity can fulfill their role as caretakers. The Didact's knights appear behind her. She puts her hands around the head of one of the knights and turns the orange lighting to blue. She pleads with the Didact to learn from the humans and to help them.
Fuck the Didact.
Yeah, locking him away.
He's a dick. Yeah, locking him away for the first time, and then, you know, obviously with the blue Prometheans, that's how they were when we first saw them. I'm just like reading this dialogue again. Yeah, like Master Chief going, "It was my job to take care of you," and Cortana saying, "We were supposed to take care of each other, and we did." And then he like pleads Cortana not to leave. And then she starts walking away, and he goes, "Wait." And then Cortana's like, "Welcome home, John." It's like, oh, it's so
it's good. It is.
It's so good.
It's very well done.
So, apparently there was some extra dialogue in the ending scene between John and Cortana that was cut. The dialogue was portrayed in motion capture forms, but was not included in the final release. I would love to see that.
It wasn't. You can't find that anywhere.
I didn't really look it up.
Yeah,
but
bet that if it's not, if it's just in, I don't know.
I almost think I'm like, what would you want to cut from that scene?
Yeah.
I mean, this scene is tight. It's not deep and juicy. I think like every word that is said
it matters.
matters.
No,
but like
right.
I'm like, you know, I think I want to see more. I don't know, but like I would like to just hear what the dialogue was.
Of course.
So. The Infinity finds Master Chief floating outside. They bring him aboard the Infinity, and it's just like, you know, really cool when he like comes off and there's all the Spartans lined up,
cool,
lined up,
and they salute
like
him.
welcoming home. But yeah, no,
So this is All right, so the end of this scene is him floating in space, and that pelican comes and it sees him. Isn't that how Infinite, the campaign, like that scene starts? So could this be like where Infinite starts, and then they kind of like erase 5?
No, there's no. If they,
Good theory, but no.
that would be so funny.
Wouldn't that be crazy?
5 never happened.
I'm really, just because you bring it up, I'm really interested to see. It's October 23rd as we're recording this.
Yeah.
We still have not seen any
like little to
Halo
no
5 campaign, and I'm almost like
we don't even know like what.
I don't know if that scares me or that makes me hype, because whatever we see, we've never seen it before.
No, I know, but
You know?
it is like I don't like what is our
Worrisome.
what are we doing? Like what is Master Chief's goal?
I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. Like
That's what's cool, though.
It's cool, but I
And
like
I think,
that
like,
a little bit.
In that first trailer, like we find out from that Pelican pilot, the UNSC Infinity was destroyed by the Banished.
Yeah.
So like, what the fuck happened? Like that ship is huge. Like, how did they take it out? With I'm like, what happened to the Spartan 4s and stuff?
Yeah.
Like I like that when I first saw that, I'm like, oh, I hate when things like that happen. It's like SHIELD getting destroyed. It's like any sort of like organization that big just being like dismantled.
See ya, yeah.
Like always like kind of like makes
how?
me worried. Like gives me anxiety. Like what's gonna happen?
Where are we going?
Mind if I join you?
Of course not, sir.
At ease, Chief. Feels kinda odd for you to call me sir. Beautiful, isn't she? I don't get to see her often enough. I grew up in New Harmony. Attended Corbulo Military Academy. Never saw Earth in person until I was an adult, but I still think of her as home. You don't talk much, do you? Chief, I won't pretend to know how you feel. I mean, I've lost people I care about, but never anything like you're going through.
Our duty as soldiers is to protect humanity, whatever the cost.
You say that like soldiers and humanity are two different things. I mean, soldiers aren't machines. We're just people. I'll let you have the deck to yourself.
She said that to me once. About being a machine.
Yeah, man. This whole cutscene between, like Trio was saying earlier, between Lasky and Chief, Lasky like approaching Chief like a person. Most people don't do that. And talking to him, and he's like, he's not gonna pretend when he knows what's going on with him. We've lost people, but and everything like you're going through. And Master Chief responds, "Our duty as soldiers is to protect humanity, whatever the cost." And Lasky says, "You say that like soldiers and humanity are two different things. Soldiers aren't machines. We're just people." And then he says, "I'll let you have the deck to yourself." And then he, that pause, and then she said that to me once about being a machine. Crazy.
It's good.
Absolutely wild. Like Master Chief just fucking like doesn't even know what to do. Doesn't even know what to say. Like, but like all he knows what he knows how to be. A soldier.
A soldier.
And he responds like one. Like he doesn't respond like a human being. He just responds like, yeah, I'll protect humanity, whatever the cost. Like, just so robotic.
In this hour of victory, we taste only defeat. I ask why. We are forerunners, guardians of all that exists. The roots of the galaxy have grown deep under our careful tending. Where there is life, the wisdom of our countless generations has saturated the soil. Our strength is a luminous sun towards which all intelligence blossoms, and the impervious shelter beneath which it has prospered. I stand before you, accused of the sin of ensuring Forerunner ascendancy, of attempting to save us from this fate where we are forced to recede. Humanity stands as the greatest threat in the galaxy. Refusing to eradicate them is a fool's gambit. We squander eons in the darkness, while they seize our triumphs for their own. The mantle of responsibility for all things belongs to Forerunners alone. Think of my acts as you will, but do not doubt the reality. The reclamation has already begun, and we are hopeless to stop it.
We get that zoom in on Master Chief's helmet, and if it's on Legendary, we see the first time the outlines of his face besides his eyes.
I've never.
His eyes
I
are
didn't
just
know
like
that.
all dark.
I did not know that at all.
Yeah.
I do. I like how they show you his eye, but kind of don't really show you him. Like,
Yeah.
he looks like pale white.
I really like this end cutscene where Master Chief's like walking into the Infinity Bay, and like, you know, those Spartan Forts are training with Palmer, and he walks by, and again, like,
Still
this
taller than even them.
fucking-
Yeah, just a
the
fucking giant.
stature of this guy, and like he takes his armor off for the first time, and like
Peels it
just,
off
like,
his skin
falls
after
and
4 years.
Yeah.
He hasn't taken that fucking armor off
Since
since the beginning of Halo
since
1
he
at least.
switches armor in Halo 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
damn. That's cool. I didn't
And
know you
that
saw his face like that, or his eyes.
Is Halo 4.
Halo 4.
A lot better
It's-
than I remember.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah,
Like, it really-
I think this game is good. I
do
don't know.
too.
I don't remember why. Maybe we thought it was shitty, but like
I think Halo 5 truly has tainted it for me a little. Like, it really did retroactively make me think this was worse than I remember it being.
So when we were recording, I was saying that same thing about Halo 5. I think we've gotten tainted by like the conversation that just Halo 5 was all right, and it just evolved into Halo 5 is shit. Even though that might not necessarily be true.
I think it is. But we'll continue that.
So, as always, what we do at the end of our games, review roundup.
Review. So,
What did everyone think of Halo 4?
where do you guys think
back
the
in
like
day?
the average of the Metacritic is at?
You go first.
89.
Okay.
82.
All right. Well, it's gonna be 87, sitting right in between there. So,
Wow.
Okay.
pretty good. So we'll start out. We got 83 positive ratings, we got 3 mixed ratings, and we got 1 negative rating. So,
Start with the negative.
yeah. Then we'll go all the way to the bottom here. Okay, so this is from, I don't even know who this is. Quarter to 3. Quote: a shiny old dog without any new tricks. I got more out of the Halo 1 remake, which at least had the appeal of nostalgia, than playing through an updated version or playing through an updated. This is written terribly. I got more out of the Halo 1 remake, which at least had the appeal of nostalgia. Playing through an updated version of the original Halo was at times tired and tedious, but it was also a reminder of the raw genius that launched the series. There is none of that in Halo 4, which is a drawn-out retread without any fresh perspective or energy, and furthermore missing a lot of what it needed to pull me through the Halo games. Halo 4 demonstrates that if there's one thing worse than more of the same, it's less of the same. And that review literally makes no sense to me at all. So you're saying they didn't...
I think Halo 4 is actually like a lot like Halo 1 because you sit there and talk to Cortana and you're kind of solo a lot of the time.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I feel like there are a lot of new stuff. Like, there is a lot of new stuff in this.
Yeah.
Whole new
Gameplay wise,
factions,
there's new narratives
weapons,
going on.
new
Right.
characters.
I think that just sounds like a salty old.
A depth
Quarter
we've
to
never
3.
seen before with
Yeah.
Halo.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally disagree with that.
It's very weird, but I don't know. We'll go to the mixed reviews. So this is from Big Pond Game Arena. Quote: The combat overall leaves much to be desired. Halo is so rigid in its linearity that the player is forced to learn gunfight sequences by rote. By rote? R-O-T-E?
Route?
No,
No,
R-O-T.
yeah, that's R-O-U-T-E is route, but I guess, I don't know. Remember where snipers are, make sure you find the watchers quickly and put them down and memorize where the extra ammo is. Isn't that what what? Like that's like a shooter like that's, I don't know, that's weird. All right, we got Armchair Empire here. That was a 55, this is also a 55. Quote, after playing through the single player on normal difficulty, I'd be more inclined to attempt the campaign on a higher difficulty if I wanted to experience the story. Maybe there's some dramatic linchpin that I missed, but I was unsuccessful in keeping my brain from thinking about the problems and inconsistencies I see with the story and the relationship between Cortana and Master Chief the first time around. Why would the second time be any different? Halo 4 has its moments, but not enough to make me forget about all this stuff.
Inconsistencies.
Yeah, I don't really know why they're inconsistent.
I don't know if I'd agree with that at all.
All right, we got EGM here with a 70. It's been an impressive run, but after a decade of the same basic experience, I can't escape the feeling that Halo needs to try a bit harder. Fans of the games will have a blast here, and the multiplayer is something special, but if you expect Halo 4 to keep up with the Joneses, you might be disappointed. I feel like that's a pretty dated reference. Keep up with the Jones.
I think I can understand that. I don't think Halo 4 really like broke any boundaries.
No, it didn't.
Like look at
I think
Halo 2,
story-wise, it did.
1, 2, and 3.
It did
All
break
those
in that
games
series, but yeah,
broke boundaries.
But gameplay-wise, you're right. It's nothing to write home about.
Right.
Like,
it's not
crazy.
like we've never seen this before. Like, no, we've seen this before.
Yeah. All right, well, we got Giant Bomb next here with an 80. Quote, it's good that the developers have backed this story up with sharp, time-tested gameplay that gets enhanced in meaningful ways across all game modes. Okay, interesting. You got Eurogamer with another 80. Halo 4 is authentic and assures 343's role is more than just a mere tribute act. They're dedicated.
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Their delicate yet sprawling work may be more continuation than true expansion, and perhaps the true test comes from the next step. But for now, Halo returns with a bang, not a whimper.
Yeah.
I would agree with that. Well, should we go up to the high scores now?
Sure.
Sure.
All right. So here we got a few hundreds. We'll go with
Hundreds. Wow.
yeah. We got
Give us IGNs.
Let's see here.
I love how like the bad reviews are like usually not big.
So
outlets.
IGN is 98.
Yeah, right.
You got Halo 4 is a masterstroke everyone can and should celebrate. And its 2 guaranteed sequels instantly make next generation of Xbox a must-own system, with Halo 5 its most anticipated title. Halo has been rebuilt, it has been redefined, and it has been reinvigorated. The Xbox's original king has returned to his rightful place on the throne.
Pretty dramatic.
It is pretty
That
dramatic.
was IGN.
Yeah,
Who
that
wrote
was
that?
94. Let's see who it was written by.
We'll probably know the name.
Oh, Ryan McCaffrey.
Oh.
I could see Ryan saying that.
I mean, yeah, he is the Halo guy there, but I also don't think
He's
he'd
the
pull any.
Xbox guy.
I don't think he'd pull. He doesn't seem the guy that like. I feel like he probably truly did feel that. Like it wasn't more like a
No,
fluff, but
yeah, it
absolutely.
just knowing what I've
Of
listened to
course,
him
yeah.
on podcasts before and listened to him talk about Halo, like I think it is very dramatic, but I think he's got some points in the
Sure.
the drama.
Yeah. So we got Eurogamer Germany here with 100. Quote, Halo 4 is something really special. Not only in its first-rate exclusive for the good old 360. By the way, I forgot this was a 360 game.
Yeah, that's right. It was a
It's also a
360 title.
shining example of the kind of technical excellence that's still possible on this elderly hardware. It's one of these games that justify the decision to buy the console. 343 Industries has gone ahead and obliterated my qualms about the brand's change to another developer than Bungie. Now there's only one more thing I want. More. So,
I kind of forgot this game is at the end of the 360's
I
life
completely
cycle.
forgot that.
Yeah.
I don't know why I really thought it was
Xbox
One.
One, it's funny. Xbox One,
Had like next to
Series X, 360,
kind of blend a lot more. They do. Like compared, I would agree.
not like PlayStation 3 and 4 and 5.
Well, and it's literally because you can't, like, you wouldn't be able to play if Halo 3 came out on PlayStation 3. You couldn't play it on your 4 because it's back compat. It's
Yeah.
such a fucking
Fuck
shit
Sony.
show. Yeah. Do we want to do any more or?
Are there any jump out? I think we're good. If not,
Do you guys want polygons? Or,
yeah,
and there's Game.
Polygon.
We'll do
we'll-
Polygon and
we'll-
Game Informer. and then we'll
Polygon's been
finish
like
up.
kind of iffy with me lately.
Yeah,
the
I'm curious.
reviews have been.
So we got a 95 from Polygon. Halo 4 is the most.
Who wrote it?
Let me see. Where is it? By Arthur Geese.
Never heard of him.
I have not either. Halo 4 is most like the original Halo, where the novelty and wonder of exploring something really alien and different is a key factor. While
I'm
Halo
nodding my head extensively.
Yeah.
While you're reading this.
While Halo 4 continues the series' tradition of its iteration on its own design more successfully than any of its other predecessors, that sense of awe and discovery has been light since the first game. And I didn't realize how much I missed it until Halo 4. Yeah, I guess there's a lot more like you're getting that new stuff. You're getting a lot of new
even
stuff.
though you're
yeah.
not exploring a Halo ring, Requiem is a new
feels like that,
alien
yeah.
world. Like they do kind of,
And it feels in line. Yeah, it does.
Right.
And we'll finish it off with Game Informer here. This is written by, let's see. Oh, oops, we couldn't find what you're looking for. Interesting. Looks like it's gone.
It's probably plagiarized.
Yeah, it might have been. Halo 4 is a thrilling adventure that
that's
takes...
IGN.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Halo 4 is a thrilling adventure and takes the science fiction franchise headlong into the future. The magic formula is intact, but the new development team isn't afraid to put its own signature features into play, assuring that Halo is on its path to growth instead of stagnation. That was a 93 by Game Informer.
I think something we haven't brought up that I think is a great time to bring up going off of that review from Game Informer. 343 I think really did do a good job about like really like saying like this is our Halo. Like they didn't
They made it theirs, but they didn't make it unrecognizable.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
They
I
put
think-
their stamp on Bungie's formula, and they kind of reworked it and made some changes, brought it into the modern time at the time. But it, like Trio said, didn't make it unrecognizable. So now it's our time. Do you have our rankings, right? You wrote them down.
Oh no, I didn't.
Didn't you do that when we did Reach? You have them in a doc somewhere.
Let me check my
'Cause
notes.
I
I don't think I did. Or maybe. Oh yeah. Okay, I do have it. So.
Yeah, he's fucking got him. Fucking bullshit.
All right. So
All
we.
right, so where are our rankings as we
All
stand?
right. So. At number 1 we have Reach.
Nuts.
At number 2 we have Halo 2. At number 3 we have Halo 3. At number 4 we have ODST. At number 5 we have Combat Evolved. We did put Reach at number 1.
I don't remember that, but yeah, I guess so.
Or was that my? Yeah, I guess it was.
No,
So-
this was our.
was one. Okay.
This is we decided to rank them as a whole.
So
not
we
as
do we
individually.
think Halo 4 is better than Combat Evolved?
Oh yeah.
Yes. Okay. So do we think it's better than Halo ODST?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Do we think it's better than Halo 3? I am.
In terms of all right, in terms of gameplay, and yes, but
I will say Halo 4. Wow, that's so hard to even say.
It's a bit.
I think Halo 4 is better than Halo 3. I think Halo 4 gameplay wise is better, story wise is better. Halo 3 lives in our hearts like a glorious angel, but I
feel
really
like
think
more
4
so
is
for,
better than 3.
I think more so for multiplayer in Halo 3.
No, I think you're right. It's not as much of the story, really. As
Yeah,
right.
in
don't-
3.
we like the campaign, but
Yeah.
like the campaign still feels like that old formula.
Yeah.
I think
I
Halo,
would agree. I think it's better than Halo 3.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
we're-
So that is it. It is now at number 3. But do we think it's better than Halo 2?
No.
Yeah.
Really? Oh, we're gonna...
You're gonna leave. You're gonna really leave this on me.
I think Master Chief's relationship with Cortana is a better narrative than with the Covenant. I think by this time it's more personal. Like
Yeah.
Halo 2's narrative isn't necessarily personal. It's I think Halo 4's narrative is what we care about.
It's about the
Yes.
external, not the internal with Chief and
right.
And 3.
And again, the gameplay is obviously superior,
Yeah.
and I would say it's better than Reach as well.
You're swaying me.
You are swaying me, but like, I guess it's fine. You know why I'm just sitting here squirming so much? Because I
'Cause
truly
I'm
did not,
like-
and I did not expect to like this game as
Yeah.
much as I did
Yeah.
this time around. So you know what? I would say definitely better than Halo 2. What do you think about this whole Reach? But yeah, I guess it kind of.
So like I've said
Because
before,
and Reach is most like 4 in general.
Yeah.
And I think 4 is better than Reach
And I
gameplay-wise.
think 4 kind of expands on a lot of those Reach elements in a lot of good ways. I think you're...
Yeah.
God, I just fucking took
Yeah, you
this
did.
thing over and
Yeah, you did.
persuaded this whole group.
All right, so...
Wow.
Woo!
Okay.
What a list.
So our Halo ranking
I think a lot of
is
people
as
would be,
follows. At
not agree with
number
that.
6, we have Combat Evolved. At number 5, we have ODST. At number 4, we have Halo 3. At number 3, we have Halo 2. At number 2, we have Halo Reach. And taking the number 1 spot, Halo 4 itself. Gentlemen, it's been a grand old time.
2 more episodes. 1 more game. We are at the end of this reliving, this replaying, and this re-experiencing of Halo. This is it.
It's been a journey.
It's been a journey.
great
and
journey.
We're going to continue it right on to the very end. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me again on this fun podcast. You can find this podcast anywhere podcasts are found. Just search Delco Nerd Network. We are also on all your social media pages at Delco Nerds. We have a Facebook page. We have a Discord. You can come hang out and talk Halo. You can come talk whatever you want in there. It's a lot of fun stuff. We have an email, delconerds@gmail.com, where you can email us any comments, questions, or concerns. We'd be happy to get back to you. Our website is delconerdnetwork.com. All this information can be found there. I don't think I'm missing anything. For Chris, for Gooch, I've been Trio. Thanks for listening, guys. Stay nerdy, and we will see you next time.